before.
Nope, I think, yep, you're clear.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good night to some. We have our relationship roundtable today. So if you are live with us, please help us share. Tag some friends to come join you and engage with our guests. We've got an awesome roundtable talking about relationships with you guys today. So it'll be exciting. It'll just be a couple minutes before we get started here. Melissa, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tagging your friends. We've got Yang Chang. Hello. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
Please help share this live or tag friends to come join.
We've got our show tonight's on relationship roundtable. We try to do these quarterly, so we've got some amazing guests with us. We're gonna tackle some crazy questions for you guys, and then of course, if you've got questions yourself, please just make sure you put them in the comment. We'll try our best to address them. Hi, Roger. How are you? Melissa, hello. Jules, hi, Jules.
And if you watch the Love Vault, please, we'd love to hear what you guys think about that.
I know.
If you have not seen that, please go check it out. It is on our page and on our YouTube channel as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Annie. I tried to do something a little bit different. I was getting tired of like the long locks curls, so I busted out my small one today. Thank you for sharing, Addie. Yes. So speaking of the Love Vault, we have our first episode out. There are 2 dates on there. I've been seeing comments and stuff. I've been reading them. So thank you so much. Continue to like, share it. We've got a lot more coming. So thank you guys so much for your support on that. And of course, if you have any friends who are single and interested in finding someone and want to go through that process with us, have them complete the application and we will be in touch. Hi, Linda. How are you?
And if you've watched it and you're scared, don't be. It's really meant to be, no strings attached, no explanation needed, no reasoning, no explaining anything to anyone. Yeah. It's really, if you click, you click. If you don't, then that's the end of that. And so it's really meant to be an environment that is, just, again, no expectations, no explaining. Like that.
Yeah. So I think for those who, because we had someone who asked, so we're gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna just go ahead and answer it. That we provided everyone who was on there a couple of different signages. One of them was the stop sign. So Jules asked, I want to know what the stop meant for Julie and that guy. I forgot his name. So it was Julian Quintero. And the stop sign is really just there to provide for the people if it was like an ex-boyfriend or someone who they met before and they were just not interested, or maybe someone may say something that's super offensive and they just know that it's not going to work out and they don't want to waste the however long they have to even like engage in the conversation. So it's just really a visual for us to say, okay, this is done and over with, and you don't need to have any sort of explanation as to why you're doing that. Like you're just not interested and you just go, right? Whereas the first one, they have a sign that says yes or no. And of course, the only time we will ever exchange any information is if both of them say yes. So if one says yes and the other says no, nothing happens. They both go back into the vault. If both say yes, then information exchange and they can take that conversation offline and they exit our vault. And so that's just kind of how it works. If at the end of the time that you have spent with someone and you just don't really feel their vibe, by all means, you can say no. There's no obligation for you to explain anything at all whatsoever. We are going to be that blunt because in order for you to meet someone, you got to have people say no to you in order for you to meet the right one. So, you know,
And
you have to be
it's
open with
really, yeah, like it's not like I think the way I see it is that they're not like signs of rejection. It's really
yeah,
just cut like let's just, like cut the crap, right? Like if you
right.
if you don't, then you don't. And then the whole like, because you don't want to have to explain too, right? Because the time that they have together is 20 minutes that they actually spend talking. And in 20 minutes, you really honestly don't owe anybody an explanation, right? And so we don't want anyone to feel like I have to like explain and say, this is why I don't want to continue this conversation. No,
Yeah.
like this is meant to be a fun, fast environment, kind of like, what you would have in a like a live virtual or live speed dating session. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you just say yes, no, you move on to the next one. It's not really a rejection, but it's more just don't waste my time. Like if you're not interested in me, just say no, move along. Right. So we've got the Love Vault, and obviously our YouTube channel. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We're also streaming on live there, so you can watch us from there, or on Facebook. You can comment on either one. And then, of course, we've got different ways that you can kind of help support the show. You can either subscribe and become a subscriber, send us stars, help us share, like our stuff, and share them. We always really appreciate those as well. And, just let us know your thoughts on our content too. Like if it's something that you guys don't like to see, or let us know so we can stop doing them, or if there's something that you love and you want to see more of, let us know too. We will try. And I know I've been reading a lot of comments on like makeup tutorial from Callie and I, and we will try our best to get there one day, but we can barely do the transition makeup videos right now. We're still learning. Okay. So we will get to the makeup tutorial. I promise we will. We just need to learn how to record our faces at different angles. And I don't know. I got to figure it out. I got to watch more makeup tutorials in order to give you a tutorial. Right. So,
And if there's anyone that wants to come on and be a guest or speak on a particular topic, please definitely DM us. We always read the DMs, and so DM us and let us know. We are waiting for you guys to come in the platform too, and to teach and to learn along with everyone. And so if there's a topic that you're really interested on, or you feel like you can really provide to our audience, then please definitely let us know.
All right, Callie, should we get started?
Yes, we should. Okay, so we are doing our quarterly relationship roundtable, and so we've got 3 other folks that are joining us. We were supposed to have four, but because of technical difficulties, we're going to have 3. And so we have, of course, Becky from the Midwest, and then we've got Raul from the East Coast, and then Dita from the West Coast. And so we've got representation from, we can
everywhere
say, around the U.S.
Yeah. One more. There we go. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you guys so much for making time for Callie and I. I know we were supposed to be on at 7, but, we were trying to get everybody on. So thank you so much for your patience. And welcome to All That Talk Show. We are so excited to have you guys here and have you be a part of our relationship roundtable.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Callie, shall we get started? You want to ask the first question?
Yeah. All right. So, of course, I think that the 5 of us are very familiar with social media. We're very active on there. Becky's got YouTube, Vita, of course, saying YouTube, Facebook. Raul is an actor. And so everyone on here is social media heavy. And so we're going to start there. So how does social media affect relationships nowadays? And any one of you, take it away. Don't
I feel like social media has completely taken over, like learning how to build relationships. Because back in the day, you had to like make time to actually go out there, dial someone's phone number, and get to talk to them and make time for them. But these days, we have text messaging, we have social media, and it takes a lot of that time away where we can just send a simple message. Whether they respond or not. That's like if they don't respond, then you basically that's it. But they do respond, then you're able to build that relationship over something that's so simple these days. It's not like back in the days where you have to like actually spend a lot of time to build relationships with people. So I feel like social media has definitely taken over people how people are trying to build relationships with other people. So a lot of my networking comes from social media. So social media has definitely taken a big toll on how people connect and how people network and how people build relationships with each other.
Yeah, I think it's a big part now. I always tell people or like my friends, your profile is you. So whatever you post on your profile, that's what people see. And if the profile pictures or the stuff that you present on your account is not what people like, they won't they won't look at it,
Yeah.
So you gotta, if you need to get that professional picture taken, you gotta do it. Yeah, people look at your, and the thing is about men and women, I say in general, most of the time women takes better picture, and men, they just like, I don't know, do like a weird angle, and then they take it and they're wondering why, and I tell them, well, because that's how your profile picture looks like. Or I have some girlfriends who say, how come I'm only getting hit on this type of guy? I say, girl, because that's the picture you post. So yeah, it does play a really big part, even though that's not really who you are. What you post on social media, says a lot about you. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
I think like with social media, I feel like it does impact relationships, but I also feel like I have noticed it more in a positive light. I don't know, so, right? Because Raul, you were talking about how like networking, like we're specifically talking about just like relationships in general. I feel like I have been able to meet new people through social media, and then when I see them in person, I probably don't remember who they are until I meet them and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm this person. I commented on XYZ." And then I remember, right? So I think it's just another way for us to build relationships. But I have seen it more on a positive note rather than a negative. But that's just my 2 cents on that. Um, and so speaking of that, how do you guys think, how has social media impacted the dating scene, right? We talk about relationships of just meeting people, but what about dating? And there are other social groups out there that are specific for single people. So how do you guys think social media has impacted the dating scene nowadays?
Yeah, I think that it's impacted it in bad ways and good ways. I think the great thing, the positive part about it is you get to know this person in a flash. You don't even have to message them. You don't have to say hi. You can look at the picture, like the Facebook profile picture that Dee said, and you can just read all the comments and all the posts that they put up. Obviously, if they're putting depressing, dark posts about oh, I just broke up with my ex, or I won't can't live anymore, or I miss him and whatnot, then you're not probably not gonna want to even DM this person because this person isn't over their ex yet, or else yeah. Or else, if you don't think this person is good looking up to your standards, then you're just probably just gonna pass. Just like how you would pass swipe left for Tinder, and so that is the negative part, because you don't give a person a chance to really get to know them. You only read what they post. You only read what they project. But the good part is that I have seen successful relationships happen on Facebook, and and so it connects people from, especially with this COVID pandemic that's been happening, for these last years. I mean, Facebook has probably been, or any social media, dating profile has been kind of the safest place to find a long-term partner for, or someone to talk to, or a companion. And so I think it goes both ways, and that's kind of where we're at right now with social media and the dating world.
Yeah, I think it's like it's made it very accessible, right? People are very accessible. You can go on there and look, and it will even suggest you friends, right? Friends of friends, if you wanted to get to know people. And then, of course, with the different social groups and stuff like that, you can really get to know a person. And I think that that's where what Dita was saying earlier about just, what people see is really what you post up. And so depending on, you know, if you're attracting certain types of guys, maybe you change it up if those are not the right type of person that you're looking for. And I mean, the nice thing is that we do always try to put the best of ourselves out on social media, right? We post the best pictures, at least for women. We usually post the best pictures. We know we're taking pictures of us when we're on vacation, when we're happy, when, you know, everything is glam. And so I think if you're a man or woman that is having a hard time having people hit you up, maybe you have a friend, like, look at your social media and just say, you know, like, am I like, are these the worst? Because sometimes you think you look good in a picture and then, you know, it's like actually not the best picture. And so but, you know, I think social media makes people very, very accessible, which is good and which is also bad because it's easy. It's very easy to just, you know, start to get tired of people too, just because there's so much out there.
Yeah, there's no like mystery anymore left. You know, when you're on social media, there's that was really the whole point. I think, at least for me personally, a lot of girls I know, one of the things that's missing with social media is the intrigue. It's the mystery. It's like the subtle chase, you know. Like romance has just it's gotten difficult to get with in terms of social media. All the sentimental things that we wanted, you know, before Facebook started coming up, were like you call on the phone, you know, remember those landlines? You would like try to hide like you pick a time and you make sure that that boy crush or that guy that you're talking to, that you gotta call at this time when my parents are sleeping and whatnot. Those things were the most like, like those are the best times. Or, you know, just going on walks and like roses. I just feel like we do miss that face-to-face interaction now, because yes, there is no filter on social media anymore. You can literally figure someone out like in a second. At least that's what you're projecting on Facebook, you know, on social media. And then, you know, people judge pretty quickly. Like that.
I actually think it's good though. Yeah, I think that's really good, because that way you don't have to take your time to really figure out that person. Because for me, I wouldn't like a guy who will post stuff about his family problems or what's going on in private life. Because what if I was his girlfriend and he blasts me one day? You know, I want to keep my profile low key. So or what if, you know, there's like, there's always two sides to every story. You know, what if he's blasting me and people don't know my story? Or if I blast him, people don't know his story, and it makes both of us look bad. So to me, I think it's really good. And also at the same time, they can't really hide it from you, because if I want to be with that person, I do want to know a lot about them to see if I like their bad habits. Am I okay with what happened in their past? So yeah, that's what I see. For your long distance relationship, they are so lucky now compared to us.
That's true.
Back then we have to go through Skype. Like we have to buy gadgets in order to connect, and the other person had to also buy a gadget too in order to see. It was so hard. Like I remember dating when I was 18 and, you know, having a long distance relationship.
You know, I think it is very different, because like I remember that back in the day, my husband and I used to just write letters to each other. It was not even really phone, you know? So we have like shoe boxes of letters that we used to write when we're like 15, 16 years old. Oh my God. You're just like, what the heck, right? But I love that we have that to remember by, versus like we're now like you FaceTime a lot. I think, which is good too. But you know, I think there's just pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, but it's definitely like that. I feel like that kind of love was like very, like, it's like a stew, right? It like slowly builds, but now it's like fast, right? It's and then, you know, you run through it and then you're like, Okay, like now I'm done. Like next. Speaking of relationships, so acknowledging your relationships on social media platforms. What are your thoughts on that? And is that a must? And I know people who aren't Facebook friends with their significant others, and so I don't know if that's like that's something, or are those toxic relationships? Is that why they can't be friends, or like just curious what your thoughts are on acknowledging the people that you're with.
I think that really depends on the couple. Like some people, they have a certain platform where they don't want to, involve their significant other or their family members. So, they choose to take that path where, they're by themselves on social media. But then there are other people who want to, show that they're proud of their significant other, and that, they want to show the world that, yes, this is my significant, this is my person, So, I mean, I think it all depends on what your goals are on social media, whether you want to be, as a social influencer, or if you want to be out there, just be like a community person. Because when you're within the community, everyone's gonna see who you're with and who you're always gonna be with. So, they're gonna already know your significant other. So, it's okay to be all that, but if you're out there trying to promote yourself for a certain specific reason and you don't want to involve your family or your significant other, I feel like it's okay, But you have to, at the end of the day, you have to come back and speak with your significant other on that issue, and then you guys have to find a compromise, whatever makes both parties comfortable. I think that's just what's gonna work these days.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the person or what you're doing on social media. So for me, before singing, before I blew up or anything, of course I post, pictures of me and my family, like me and my husband too. But then once I started singing, then we have a little talk, and I decided not to post him. And now I feel like I don't want to post him still, and he doesn't want to be on it. Sometimes I do talk to him. I go, yeah, like people keep saying it, that how come I don't post you? Do you really want to be on, social media with me? He goes, no, I don't want to be on social media with you, at least not now yet, because he's working on himself too. Yeah. But, and for me, as of now, I feel like probably it's best him not to be on, because there's like a lot of like negativity, especially for Hmong celebrities, or any type of celebrities, or anybody that is popular. I don't want people to be talking about him. So I decided, I to me it's more of protecting his image, his identity. That way people don't talk about him. Or if I told him, if we were to ever split, I don't want people to talk about you. I'd rather just leave you anonymous so that they don't ever get to talk about you or know who you are. Because I hate it when people, go, oh, I just hate it. And I just feel like it's safer for him. And he doesn't like to read, the comments too. One time I did post him like a long time ago. I think they see it, but they don't see it. So there was like a few bad comments, and he read it, and he did not like it. Yeah, he's like, I don't like it. Yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah.
Well, I think there's a difference in like posting pictures with your partner versus acknowledging that you have a partner on social media, right? Because I feel like, Dita, with you, like I feel like you talk about your husband during your lives when I tune in, and different things like that. But I think that I guess it does really depend on the relationship, whether they feel comfortable with you not acknowledging that, or that you have to acknowledge that. I think kind of like back to what Raul was saying, like you really do have to have that conversation to make sure that both parties are okay with whatever the decision is, based upon what your actual goals and what you want to do with your social media platform.
Yeah, I think for married people, they have to acknowledge it. They don't have to show it, but they have to acknowledge it. But for people who are not married yet, because I know that like in the industry, like the like the industry, entertainment industry, I know that a lot of artists, or especially the Asian community, I think, like if they have a boyfriend, they have to lie that they don't have a boyfriend just to keep the fan base there. Because once they, you know, sometimes if they admit that they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, then the numbers drop. So they have to always lie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Becky, I feel like you have something to say.
I have nothing to say. Thank God I'm not a celebrity because oh my gosh, the what you guys go through. Oh my God, Dina and Raul, I don't know how you guys do it. I would not.
I feel like there's definitely
you just deny everything. You just deny everything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like if you're in a relationship, right? Like you have to, you know, like wonder if it's a if people are trying to keep it private or secretive, right? And like if you're super serious and it's like you do, if you feel like, okay, now we're like a secret versus like we're private. I think that's, you know, something to consider. And you know, at the end of the day, it's like, it's up to those two people too, because social media is harsh, right? We've seen weeks after weeks of people just getting blasted. And so it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Like you do have to have thick skin. And especially people are going to be really judgmental if they feel like, oh, they're eating chichipi or, you know, like this or that or the other, right? People are very judgmental. They're like keyboard warrior and they will say whatever is on their mind without regards. And so it's like, you do have to be, you know, if you're a public figure, you do have to be very thick-skinned to all that's put out there.
Yeah, I think it's tough, but ultimately it kind of comes down to your decision with your spouse or your partner. Because I think sometimes, like, you acknowledge, you know, like, why aren't you acknowledging the fact that I'm your partner, right? I think that's always something that I fear a lot with my husband, because we've been together for so long that if I don't acknowledge him, sometimes I feel like he needs that reassurance to kind of like make him feel that, you know? But that's just me. He may probably be like, don't even freaking post me. I don't even care. But I think it's just
but just acknowledging is good for him. Okay.
Yeah.
I did have a friend and she is also very popular too. I'm not going to mention who, but for the longest time, I think her and her boyfriend, they've been dating for like a year, and her boyfriend finally like said to her, you know, told her, hey, so ask her, or hey, how come you never post me? Like, do you not want your fans to know who I am? You know, are you like trying to get it with someone else or, you know, somebody? So she's like, okay, fine, I'll post you. So then she finally did. Yeah.
I can see that. All right, Kelly, you want to ask the next one? Since it's a long one.
Sure, definitely. Okay, so the next one is one that we are familiar with in different ways, right? So I first heard of this concept when Willow Smith came on her mom's platform and talked about this, and it's a concept called polyamory. And so polyamory is a non-possessive, honest, responsible, and ethical philosophy and practice of loving multiple people simultaneously. Polyamory emphasizes consciously choosing how many partners one wishes to be involved with rather than accepting social norms, which dictate loving only one person at a time. And so I think when you think about this concept, you really have to think about how we were socially brought up, which is to love one person only, right? So I think I'm asking you guys to kind of question that too, because that's what we were bred to believe in, that we're going to love one person, marry, have a house, you know, do all of those things that society has kind of taught us, right? And so what we're familiar with is polygamy, right? Which if we see polygamy, we know that I think, in my opinion, does not work. But with polyamory, it's supposed to be this, you know, like everyone understands that they're, you know, all together. So it's not like you're lying to each other and saying, I'm only seeing you. You're actually saying, I'm seeing you and I'm seeing, you know, two other people. And so it's not like you're sharing what you're doing, but you're, you know, loving and you know, I would want to think equally, but I know that in the concept of polyamory, there's also primary partners and they're also
Oh.
like side, it's like main and side pieces, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it's conscious, right? And so it's just like, I guess it's, when I think about it, it's like, these are like, if these are all the things I enjoy, and I like doing these things with this person, but these are also other things I enjoy and I like doing it with this person, right? Because this person doesn't like doing those things. And I'm not saying just like sexual, I'm saying like lifestyle wise, right? And so hopefully that kind of makes sense. And we would love to hear what you guys think as well in the audience, if you think that polyamory is something that can actually work. And so how would you see this work in today's society? And do you even think that could work?
For me, I feel like as a single individual, if you're not like married to anybody, it's fine, because like there's a lot of people out there who you're gonna be attracted to because they do the same things you do, and there's gonna be some other people who you're not attracted to because they don't like to enjoy the same thing you do. But if you find someone who enjoys doing certain things, it's fine to enjoy doing certain things. But I feel like once it comes down to like, for me, it's like I'm not about polygamy. So, for me, it's like if I'm gonna settle down one person, I'm gonna have to compromise myself. That I'm gonna lose out on certain things in life that I like to enjoy, to really enjoy a life with someone else. But I feel like as a single person, you're allowed to go out there and, like, for lack of better terms, keep your options open.
Yeah, this concept, when you guys first sent it to us, I was like, I've heard of polygamy. I've not heard of polyamorous. I had a Google search what that was, what the difference between polygamy and polyamorous was. And for me, from my research, my understanding is, the difference would be marriage. Polygamy is having multiple married couples, like marrying multiple people, partners. And then polyamorous is essentially an open consensual relationship, and how I can understand it. And although that concept is new, that word, I do feel like it has been happening in everywhere. We just haven't put a label on it. Or clearly, exactly, there's no label. You just both agree to understand what this is about. No label. Things kind of are low key, but we're not exclusive necessarily unless I find someone else. But let me know if you do find one. But if you don't, that's cheating. Like this whole concept was just, I had to kind of figure out the levels of it all. But I do think it's been happening, and now it's just a matter of time that we put a label on it and we let it be known, let it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was in, not really, but are you guys talking about dating but being open to talking to other people? I think I've been in that type of relationship before, especially in Hmong culture. Y'all.
Yep.
I'm not sure if the guys does it, but a lot of the Hmong girls does do it. Like even though they always say, "Oh, but they talk to guys on the side."
Back in the day,
but they don't date those guys. It's just more like talking, but they date one. So I think with me and one of my ex-boyfriend, we did that where we were dating, but he was the one who, told me, he goes, "Hey, why don't we be open? And even though we're dating, I can talk to other girls. If I find someone better, I'm going to let you go and I'm going to go be with this other girl." I was like, okay, if you say that, then I'm going to do it too. So, but it's more of, I'm just talking. I don't do anything with them. I'm just like, yeah. So I think I did do that.
Yeah, and so there is love in these type of relationships too, right? So I guess I do want to differentiate that of just like you do feel love, and I think love is defined differently by different people, and I think that this kind of relationship really exists well for like very independent people, which I feel like is more of the younger generation, right? Very independent, or you're not necessarily relying on one person to be kind of like your be all end all, right? Like you're relying on multiple people to kind of like fulfill what it is that you need in your life. And so I think that and again, I think that it is probably harder for us to grasp because we are raised on that concept of find one person and that's going to be kind of like your person forever. And so it's very different.
I find I struggle with that. I feel like it's harder to do that because I don't know, like you said, I think we're just raised on finding one person, right? And then we see our parents like go through Yao and how crazy our lives are. And it's like, do we really want to put ourselves in that relationship where you're like, with two men or with two women? And then we know that there is bound to be jealousy. That's just human nature. Yeah. And that like, I think maybe it can work. But reality is that whether it's like it's like you can't it may not work because of that. It's just things that are so simple. So I think if you found two people who are not jealous of anything, and Callie, like you said, they're independent and they're just like, I enjoy your company and I love spending time with you and I love you, but I don't want to get married. I just want to keep it how it is, and the three people are all like giving consensus on that. Sure, I think it can work, but me personally, hell no, it won't be working out.
I don't think it's gonna work out for a lot of people. I have seen it work out for very, very few people because they just somehow maybe fell in love with two people and both of them won't let go too. Yeah. So they just make it work. So but then I think for this generation it works a little bit more better, depending on but for the law, I feel like it's more of like a cheating thing where once they get one, they want the second one. Once they have the second one, they want to go for the third, the fourth, and the fifth. But because I feel like for Bay home culture, yeah. So I feel like it wouldn't work for back then, but now, but it's really up to them. But we are brought up to just and like you said, there's a lot of jealousy in it. So that's why and it's hard to take care of too, especially if you're a guy and you have to be with two women. Now you have to worry about making money for both of those women.
I know. I think that's where like the independence too comes in, right? I think that's very important to like that each person has enough of the stuff going on in their life that they're not like, oh crap, I need support from this person. I need support, like you're able to find support in other ways where you're not relying so much. Because if you only have support from one person, then I think it's going to be really hard when that person's not available and you're kind of left to like kind of figure things out on your own. So I mean, it's again very, very different. But the next question is about whether if people are able to fall in love with two people at once. Do y'all think that's possible, or you really just fall in love with one person at a time?
Becky, you made a face.
I'm sorry.
I'm through your head right now.
You're really expressive, so we always think you have something going on in your head.
Oh man, you know what? This reminds me of that question where, do you believe in soulmates? Do you believe that the person that you married is your soulmate, or like the person that you're married is not your soulmate really, and it's someone is out there? I don't know. It's just like you all come together. I mean, personally, for me, I think. Yes, I think that you can fall in love with more than one person at the same time because there is so much potential and so many, obviously for me, good guys out there, right? And then for Raul, so many good women out there too. Beautiful, we have we do have options too. But I think it just comes down to your values. At the end of the day, when it comes to your values, and how you want to lead your life. I mean, I think that then just cuts it off to where you won't you will not end up with fall in love with two people. You're gonna end up choosing, and you're gonna know your decision on which one it is. So that's where I am coming from. So it's a lot deeper than just no, you can't fall in love with two people at the same time. You can, but eventually you will make a decision, and that's how I feel. And if you can't, then that means that you got to search within yourself on who you are. And a lady, woman, boy, you figure yourself out first then before you break two hearts instead of one.
Yeah,
that's my take.
Yeah, I think that's very important, and that's good that you're saying that, because I think usually when people, I think what I usually see people falling in love with two people, especially 一頭女都塔 someone 都時候 fall in love with someone 一樣，I would say maybe 呢度即係要開。即係有個 relationship 咁乜都未有 and then you want to let go of that person, but that person can't let go of you, but you already like this person and you want to be with this person, and then you love the new person, but the person to so to you might be thinking I love both of them, but 呢度個女個人齊係呢度嘢個當然哋個 comfortable 當然嘢個女我都講我聽 okay so if people don't know what that means, then explain it in English. But you guys get what I mean, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think Michael said it. Like you can love two people at once, but you're not gonna love them equally. Like the love that you have is very different for the two individuals. And so I think kind of along with you, Becky, like you just have to choose the one that you love that fits your kind of love, I guess.
Yeah.
Raul, you was gonna say something.
Yeah, like for me, it's like definitely choose the love that's gonna make you happy. Because for me, it's like if you don't love the person, if you don't love what's being given to you, you're not gonna love yourself. And if you can't love yourself, you're not gonna be able to love anybody else. Because you know, like look at who go on, if you're not happy with yourself, every time someone tells you they love you, you're gonna come back and think like, you know, why did these people have a reason to love me? I don't even love myself. You know, like one. So now you're gonna just shun away everybody else's love, and then it's like nobody's love's gonna mean anything to you. So it's like, you know, choose the love that you receive that means something to you. You know, make something that makes you happy. Because you gotta love yourself first. You gotta love yourself first, so that you know you can accept other people's love.
Yeah. That's so
and
true.
I think that love changes anyways, right? So when we talk about like loving someone, it's not like you're loving them all the time or every day. some days you don't love them, some weeks, some years, decades that you don't love them, you know? So I think we're constantly changing all the time. And so I think it's also choosing to love, right? You have to your heart to stay committed and to stay loving, because there are some times that they're going to be so, you know, I think it's those days that you have to like Zula or Zula, or Zula something. It's going to be hard to love.
Yeah, I mean, there are some days where they are going to be annoying and you hate them, but your love for them should be consistent regardless of your ups and downs, right? There's that flow and that consistency of your love. It's just a matter, like you said, choosing to stay here and not dipping or, you know, loving more or loving less. It's just staying consistent. So picking the right one to love, that's important.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that this next question is so important because we have a lot. Callie and I think since we've been doing Finding Love and Love Vault and you're doing all these like love things, like we've seen a lot of applications come through. We've seen a lot of people come and talk to us about you know, just finding love and Love Vault in general when we see people out in public. And I think this question really kind of was really interesting to us. And so I want to get your guys' opinion on how do you make yourself more attractive to the opposite sex? Because when you're looking and you're trying to date people.
So how do you even get love, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Talking about love, but damn, some of us just can't get love. How do we get love?
I think it all boils down to like being confident in yourself. Like, Yeah, 'cause when you wake up in the morning, if you look in the mirror and you're telling yourself, like, damn, I'm ugly, or I'm not happy with myself, everybody's gonna see you in that light because that's how you're gonna portray yourself. But you wake up every day in the morning, you're like, like, I'm out here, I'm grinding, I'm doing my thing, I look good, I'm proud of myself, like everybody's gonna see you in that light. So, that's what's gonna attract people to you because, we're all attracted to positivity, like no matter what, no one's gonna chase negativity, on purpose, So, I think the first thing into, making yourself attractive to other people is, like making yourself attractive to yourself. Like learn how to love yourself first. And that's gonna be the biggest key to attracting other people and making other people learn how to love you too. Because if you learn how to love yourself, other people know how to love you too, because they see how you love yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just be positive and just be confident and, be your best. I remember one time my sister-in-law told me, she goes, "Yêu chủ tôi có hay xuân hú lô, trái bia yêu họ làm mung chi tu sống mày, chỉ muốn chỉ How about you guys? But back in my single days, that's what my sister-in-law told me. So ever since then, it's in my head. I'm like, yeah, I gotta look good. That way, when I meet somebody I like, I can approach them and not be afraid of rejection. Just not gonna lie, but we live in a society where but just look your best, be your best, because people don't look at your worst. Of course, sometimes we wish that people will accept our, worst first, but not lying. The truth is people look at your good first. And if they really want to know you, then they'll talk to you more, and then they'll find out about your bad, and now they can see if they like that or not.
Yeah, I think I agree with like Raul and Dida. Like it is confidence, but you do want to kind of dress up. I feel like if you're going in sweats to like an outing, or like you got a beard growing, you haven't cut your hair up to like the shoulders, like, and you probably haven't brushed your teeth, like that is probably if that's your yes, we get it. That is your worst. But we're not even going to give you a minute of our time of our time, because you're not showing up for us. And I'm talking about as a woman, you're not showing for us. And honestly, we do like show up for you. We're dressed up, or we look decent, for you. So we expect the same thing from you. And if you're not giving that to us, what would it look like if we even gave you a chance in an actual committed relationship? Would you give up the moment? Would you start giving up on trying after you've gotten me? Like that would be the impression I would get. And I have told some people, like I have some family, and I'm like, you have such a good heart, my brother, my uncle, but like you gotta cut your hair and shave off, because people won't see that good heart and the kindness of you. They're just gonna see that you're lazy or you're a bum. You look like it, but you're not. You make money, you look good, but it doesn't show, and so it's not gonna be impressive. I mean, I think that's what men would want from us too, right? Us women to look like, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I have not seen a person that I felt was like super ugly. Honestly, like I feel like every person they like and I think it's about like harnessing that, whatever that is for you, and taking care of yourself, and just like even silly like hygiene. I mean, hygiene is not silly, but like that day, like get the haircut that looks good for you, and like ask people that actually care for you to give you some feedback, right? And be willing to change too. Like if someone's like, dude, like you dress like you're in the 90s, then maybe you look at that and change that. It's okay to change. It's okay that like you need to improve yourself. I think that's part of life, is that we're willing to change and improve. And you know, if our hair, like, even if you don't have hair, like, you look just fine, you know, just figure out what it is that sells you, like whether it's your eyes, or maybe you have nice lips, you have a nice nose or a nice body, like figure out what it is and get the feedback, you know, from people that care about you and want to help you, you know, because I think that at the end of the day, like most people just really want you to be happy, you know, but you have to be willing to be like, you know what, like, these things aren't working for me. I'm not, you know, meeting the kind of people that I want, or I'm not meeting the love of my life. And so, you know, maybe I need to, you know, it's not like you're changing who you are, but you're
it's
trying to
not,
find
no.
the best in you, you know, and I think
Mhm.
that's putting your best foot forward. And if you feel fake, then maybe just do a couple of changes at a time. You don't have to like all of a sudden become this person that you're not, you know, because people will see right through that. And so I think that, you know, for most people, it's very superficial fixes and very light superficial fixes. It's not like you have to, again, change yourself completely, but figure out what it is that like really makes you shine and that thinking are really attracted to in you, because everyone is attractive and everyone, you know, has that thing about them. Honestly, I've never met anybody that I felt like was just like hideous, you know, like everyone has like that really nice spark about them.
I think it just all comes down to your confidence. I think your confidence, just like you can meet, there could be like 50 guys in a room and they could all be extremely hot, but it's the confidence that you have that's going to like make you stand out. And if you smell good, just saying.
Confidence is not like, not cocky though.
Yeah. Absolutely not cocky. I think just like, kind of like Raul was saying earlier, right? Like just be you, be confident, like build you and love you first, and whatever that is, it's going to exude out and you're going to attract what you put out. So you know, obviously don't be a tunging person, right? Like so you just kind of have to almost mimic like what you're looking for in order to attract that. So
I was watching this one comedian and I think he said something that was very funny but very important. He goes, so what you're telling me, because he was talking to his sister, and he goes, so what you're telling me is you're looking for a 9, but you're a 6. You know, the 9, that if he's a 9, he's gonna look for a girl that is a 9. So so that's what his brother was trying to tell her. So I just thought that, yes, you know, then you gotta really look back at yourself and say, hey, you know, can I meet that expectation too? I mean, sometimes we do have certain things like that is opposite. For example, of course, I don't know how to fix cars, okay? But my husband does. So that's good. Like you can't be the same all the time, but then right? So that's why it depends on who you're after. You kind of have to be like that. Right? Right? I know I cannot wake up to clean the house at 6 or 5 a.m. You just gotta really have to see that.
Yeah.
Can we put a comment up? I just want to.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. I was going to say maybe
advice for the short guys. Honestly, you know, like I feel like I mean I'm not tall. I'm like 5'3" on my driver's license, and so like I just feel like that like you know like there's no short guys, and I definitely feel like you have to be confident, and like the women that are looking, if they're looking for someone taller, then screw them. You know what I mean? Like that's not for you, and like that has nothing to do with you. And I think you need to be able to take that off your shoulder of just that, you know, there's something against you. You know, I mean, I think I'm sure guys get love all the time. You know, like and when you think about Lahaina, they don't place the value on that, because you see a lot of guys and girls that are the same height. You know, and so I feel like this whole thing with the short guy thing, it's just like just be confident, and you know, if someone isn't, if people aren't choosing you, that's on them. You know, that's not on you. And so I think you also have to like learn that as well. But dude, there's a lot of cute short guys.
Oh yes, just be confident. I have to say, I know this one guy. When I see how confident he is, I'm just like, hey, you know, it makes him shine. And I just feel like there's this other guy over here. He's hotter. He looks better. But my other guy friend over here, he's short. He has more meat on him, but his personality is just so like good. And I just feel like, hey, that's how you get girls right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
if you're a short girl, you need to chill.
Oh yeah. Quit playing.
Relax.
Stop, girl.
Yeah.
already. What are they complaining about?
Raul, any tips for a short brother?
For
We want to
me,
hear
it's
from
like,
you.
hey, go out there and play your game, man. Just
Yeah.
play, be confident in yourself, because like, go out there and let your personality be bigger than your height. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Play your game, man. Let your personality play your game for you, man.
But not too much too, because there's a short man syndrome, right? Not too much. Like don't go into a room and be overkill. So just
I mean, there's certain boundaries and lines where you don't cross, But like go out there and play your game, but also respect the women and respect them as like as they want you to respect them. Like there are some women who like may let you push boundaries to a certain point, but there's some that like draw the boundaries real close and real tight. So you just gotta find, like, if you want to holler at a guy, at a woman, like just like kind of I'm trying to understand the boundaries. Don't cross those boundaries, but play your game. Definitely play your game. Be confident in yourself. Be confident in your game. Don't hit the play, hit the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be nice too. Be kind. That will get the girl. I've known a few friends or family members of mine that, hey, they their husband is shorter than them and they don't care. Yeah, because they just want the good heart. So just don't cut yourself short. Yeah. Just remember that. I used to like a guy that is shorter than me too.
Yeah.
He was only like, I'm 5'3". I think he was only like 5, and I was amazed. I used to think that, hey, but then I remember I saw this one guy and I was like, hey, he's shorter than me, but I like him, but then so
Yeah. So what are some, like, when we talk about how to attract the opposite sex, like what are some things that you guys have seen where you're just like, ooh, homegirl should have not done that, or ooh, that guy probably should have not done that, like with their, like if we talk about like physical attraction?
Sorry, what was the question again?
So what are some big turnoffs or red flags from the opposite sex in regards to physical attraction?
Physical attraction or just like
It could be
attitude or
anything.
personality?
It could be anything.
I feel like everybody leads different lives. So, what I do that might attract someone else that I want to attract is not going to attract someone else who I don't want to attract. Like someone who likes to do different things that are different than what I like to do. If I do it, they're not going to be attracted to me because this is not what they like. So I think it all comes down to personal preference. Like if someone does something where you don't like or you don't agree with, you're not going to like them. But if that person does it in front of someone else who agrees with what they're doing and likes it, they're going to agree with it. They're going to be attracted to it. So I think it all comes down to personal preference and like do what makes you you. At the end of the day, do what makes you you. Don't be afraid of anybody judging you because, whatever you're doing, it's going to be what makes you you. And if you're doing what makes you you and you're happy about it, you're going to attract the people who's going to be attracted to you. So I just want to tell everybody, just do what makes you you. Like, be yourself.
Yeah.
I want to grab some stuff from, so we've got Chucky that says too clingy or needy.
Can you put the
says, yes, I will put that one. Women being masculine is unattractive. But if you're a masculine woman, you find somebody that likes you too. So all these things, right? Like I think keep in mind that just because some people don't like it doesn't mean that all people
just
long pinky nail. Like
whatever. That's a joke. That's gotta be a joke. Come on.
I mean, are you attracted to that?
I think for a guy.
Oh, for a guy.
Oh, for a guy. Oh, okay.
We know this is for a guy, okay? But I think I think all of that is just exactly what Raul is talking about. It's your personal preference, right? Like some people don't like men with long fingernails. Some people don't like them to look like masculine, but it's all about what your own personal
Yeah.
preference is.
Yeah.
And I think that you answered it perfectly, Raul. I think you're 100% right on there.
Yeah, I would say like Peachy herself right here, controlling. You know, of course, people don't like it when you're controlling.
Yeah.
Especially for me, if some guy, you know, if my men start being controlling, I'm just like, that's not holding me right there.
Yeah.
And I would say, okay, so earlier we were talking before we came on to the live show. If your personality is rude, you gotta fix that. Okay,
Yeah.
you can't say this is me here. I'm a really rude person. Sorry, nobody's gonna like you. You gotta change that. You can't be rude. So there are certain things that you should change about you. For me, I would say short temper as well. I used to be short tempered, and I know that of course nobody's gonna like a short temper, person. It doesn't matter if you're men or a woman. But I've learned how to change that. At the same time, maybe talking too much. I talk a lot. So sometimes you talk too much. You might say something wrong and offensive. So guess you just have to watch what you're saying sometimes. I've said things that kills before.
But you know what? When I feel like when it comes to those type of like personal qualities, I feel like there's always that one person out there who's your kryptonite. You know, like you can be bad to everybody in the world, but then that one person out there will come along and they will take you. You know, they're gonna be your guiding light. They're gonna be the person who, like, no matter how mad you get, no matter how much you want to like turn the world upside down, as soon as you see them and as soon as you get them in your presence, you're like everything goes away. You know, so I feel like there's always that one person out there. So like it all comes back to like being like attracted to this one person. You know, you can see them, like everybody might see them in a bad light, but you look at them and you get to know them, and you are their light, you're their guide, like you're their kryptonite. You're the one that calms them down. And at the end of the day, like they might not be a bad person to you like they are to everybody else, but you are that person who can guide them to become that good person for everybody else too. So that's what it boils down to for me.
Yeah. That's true. We can say like all these things that are kind of like red flags or turnoffs, but I think there's, like someone that we're kind of like overlook, right? Like I had this list and now it's like there's nothing. Just whatever you think, I'll take.
Just as long as they're a man.
All right. So we've been talking about so much about confidence, right? And it's like just walk into the room, be confident, you're gonna get all the guys or all the girls. So the ultimate question of then does looks matter?
I think we can always just, I could piggyback on what Raul says, personal preference, right? Everybody has their own standard of looks, and some people don't even care about looks. They care more about other things, whether it be economics or, education or just like personality, or similar values. But just like personally, for me, it obviously physical attraction did matter to me. I would want to be able to sleep in the same bed. I'm just gonna say, but like sex is a very important thing in a relationship. If you can't even have an amazing sexual, romantic, intimate relationship with this person, then everything else doesn't. Honestly, everything else is just a facade. It's just I feel like it's just for reputation or for looks, honestly. If you can't even have sex with this person, and I'm just talking about physical attraction here, so
like for me, it's like, call me shallow, but like it's the honest truth. Like if you see someone who's you've never met before and they've never met you, like it's automatically looks first.
Yeah.
If their looks do not appeal to you, you would never ever take the chance to go up and talk to them and try to get to know them, because like to know how smart they are, or to know how their personality is, you have to get past the looks first. And if you see them first, you will always see someone first before you talk to them or hear them. So if you cannot see past their looks, you will never get behind whatever's behind those doors behind their looks. So like looks will always come first. You will always see someone first, and if you are attracted to them, if you are even like a little bit like physically attracted, you would go and talk to them. You would go reach out to them, get to know them, and that's what will bloom and blossom your relationship here. But if you can't even get past the looks, you're never gonna go talk to that person. You're like, you can say like, oh no, I don't want to talk to that person, because the looks, they're physical. You're not physically attracted to them. So like, as long as you're physically, if you get that past the physical looks, I feel like you can go further and get to know them personally. Get to know how smart they are. But looks always come first. Looks will always come first. It doesn't matter how much people say, oh, I love people for their personality. I love people for how smart they are. It doesn't matter. If you can't get past their looks, you will never get past to know whatever that person's about.
Yeah. Nhưng like got that and then it comes to you that you thả tụng nâng the again of course looks doesn't really matter. I've been on dates with like really handsome guys back in the days, and sometimes I don't like them. Like let's say to me they become really ugly because their attitude is really ugly. And I think to give more chances to people is I have to say that with my experience, most of the guys that I've dated, I think all of the guys, no, actually majority of the guys that I've dated, we were friends, and I get to know their personality and how like they're nice and they're kind. To me, then their looks, it doesn't really bug me because I already really like who they are, as a person. I don't care about how they look like because they don't yeah.
I think looks definitely gets you in, but it's more than that that's gonna make someone stay. So I think it kind of falls back to like, just do the typical hygiene stuff and work on your personality and yourself to have a good heart and build your confidence and being just like completely 100% authentically you.
Oh, can I say one thing? So a lot of the times I will hear people asking questions like, how do we get guys or girls, right? A guy or a girl. But I say the most important question you should be asking is how to keep them. So how to keep them, okay? So you should really work on that, on how to keep them.
Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah. I mean, I only know what to do to keep my own man, so I can't really give advice for other people because everyone is different. I think every man is different, and you just have to figure out what is it that your man likes and don't like. What are you comfortable with? Whether that's changing things about yourself or not changing things but enhancing. I don't know. You got to figure it out and
because a lot of time when I hear guys ask that question, or I remember one of my guy friends saying, try this, I'm like, dude, that's not gonna like, of course you're gonna get her, but is she gonna stay with you forever, or will he stay with you forever? So the real question is, how do you get them and keep them?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. So then the next question is, does education matter to you guys, or should education matter in a relationship, especially nowadays too?
I would say at least high school diploma.
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, high school diploma is basics, or at least a GED, like know the basics. know how to, just to survive,
Yeah.
because if a lot of jobs, if you don't have a high school diploma, they won't even hire you. So I think that's really important, or unless at least you educate yourself,
Yeah.
to get around. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, just like lifestyle alignment too, right? Because, like,
Mm-hmm.
say if you, like have a PhD, you might want somebody that, not to say that people without PhD can't have conversations with you, but like, you might want somebody that has at least a bachelor or has been through that experience of going to school, so that like the things that you've taken to sacrifice, and so, I feel like maybe just some lifestyle alignment and making sure that you're compatible in that way, but not necessarily that, they have to be like super, super educated or, have to, have multiple degrees and stuff.
Yeah. Because I know that our parents, they didn't get a chance at high school, but at least they can get around, then that's great. And they know how to, make money and support their family. That's good enough.
Yeah. Raul, what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like with education, I feel like we all want someone who's on the same intellectual level with us. So itu and I, can like talk with us in the same conversation that we can talk with. Because like if we carry our conversation and they cannot talk to us or cannot conversate with us, then like we feel a certain type of way about it. So like it's all about like finding someone who's on the same intellectual level with you. For me, for myself, it I feel like it doesn't really matter, but for some other people, it might matter. Because for me, it's like even though I have my bachelor's, I'm going for a master's, like I don't hold my degree like at the top of my shit. Like I don't really like expect someone to like match me. Because like me, like life's not all about that for me. Life's about finding someone who I can truly connect with. Like I'm a romantic, so I want to connect. I want to connect on a more emotional level. So like intellectual level, yeah, you want to connect with someone on that intellectual level, but it's all personal preference. That's what it all comes down to. Like because people connect with other people in many different types of ways. And if you want to specifically connect with someone who's intellectually on your level, then yeah, that's fine. Hold their level of education, to your standard. But if you're willing to connect with them on another different level, like emotional level or something else like that, you have social media like influencers out here who are making billions, but they only got a high school degree. So I think it all comes down to the personal preference. Like whatever makes you happy. Like if you can compromise, find some kind of compromise to be happy with someone, are you?
Yep. I think it really just depends on the person.
Yeah, true. All right. Last question, because we're all Hmong. Do you guys think ethnicity matters?
I don't think ethnicity matters to us in our generation now, in the modern generation. Maybe some old school, maybe would say don't date this race, don't do whatever. But I think most of the modern people, I feel like our age, maybe under, they don't care as much. I think what the important part is respecting culture and being willing to accept it and appreciate it would be more important than ethnicity, because there are some, that that is part of our lives, that we are Hmong, and so we can't just get rid of our beliefs or our traditions just like that. So from what I know and what I see from my peers, ethnicity doesn't matter as much. It's more of, I'm dating a Hmong person because it's easier to date a Hmong person. You don't have to explain this whole tradition, this whole dowry idea. We don't have to explain where Hmong people come from, But if you date someone out of the Hmong race and, they know the Hmong culture, they love it. They love our food, our culture. They attend the Hmong New Year's, July 4th. Then ethnicity definitely doesn't matter anymore, because they're going to understand what our values are. And again, I think that is way more important than what race or ethnicity you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That was mic drop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they might yeah, some people they just want to marry, the Hmong community probably because it's easier for their family to communicate. Maybe it's easier in terms of culture. Because you understand what I'm doing, I understand what you're doing. Like for me, I like to speak Hmong, so of course I want to date somebody that can actually speak Hmong. So Hmong trong lo có nên thế nào tôi khỏi tiền rồi mình cả là you could bảo chỉ mang thế nào it's a little bit harder for me, because growing up, I didn't hang out with other race as much. So, and I didn't really watch a lot of, American movies. I watch more Hmong dub movies. So I really like the language, I would say. But yeah, I think any race is fine. Yeah.
Because I think like for us, we're in a big melting pot here. So to find someone like you connect on with every level that you truly feel connected to them, go ahead. Like more power to you. More power to you. Like, a lot of us out here, we might not feel the same way you do, but at the end of the day, love is love, and that's all you can. That's all you can do about it. Like they're different skin color or they're different ethnicity. It's okay. Like because we're not in a society anymore where basically the hunger goals, and like we're in a society where like, oh my God, kid, man, like, and it's just like so many of us that you can go out there and you can find anybody. And as long as like you two love each other and truly love each other, that's all that matters. Because love is the greatest thing in the world. Love is the only thing that's true what it is.
Yeah.
You're so romantic, bro. Oh my goodness. You got all them girls obsessed with your music video. Now you're probably going to get them more obsessed with you. Just the way you're so open-minded. And like,
yeah.
I also say it's good. Yeah, I think one time I told one of my guy friends, I say it's good that you date other race because they không chỉ một tế chờ thế nha, có dụ là hai đứa chị có chữ mình nhổ một tế chờ đấy.
I never looked at it like this before, Dita.
It was a strategy, and it was a strategy.
Yeah, right? I mean,
right, that's true.
Now that it's true.
Yeah.
So that was our last question. So do y'all, before I end us here, do y'all have anything else to say? Any you can take this time to kind of talk about any projects that you're working on as well. We'll give you that platform. Or any last thing to say about love, any advice, anything like that?
I mean, I could go first because I probably have nothing compared to these two and you guys all. Thank you, Olivia and Kali, for just giving me an opportunity to, come on this platform and just, have fun with you guys. And I didn't even know that you guys were gonna have Dita and the model Raul, so that's really cool. And I did want to add with the whole confidence part about like how can men like or men like attract more women, whether you're short or whatnot. It does. If you're a comedian, if you can make a woman laugh, that will win. Like you will just blow a woman's mind if you can make a woman laugh and laugh and laugh and just make her smile. So I wanted to add that, but yeah, just to end it. I am a recent YouTuber and a content creator, and so on YouTube, and so it's just Becky Tao, and I just do content with beauty. Right now, I have beauty, food, and traveling. So my latest videos include my Puerto Rico trip that I went back in December, and so I kind of showcase some of the awesome activities that I've done, and that includes like a snorkeling, I believe in the Atlantic Ocean, and also jump diving into like one of the rainforests of Puerto Rico. I also did do some beauty reviews on some products, like even in the mall community, like I did do some like Jean Flu and Yasmin products reviews. So you can check out if you don't live in the Minnesota area and you want to know more. And then food, I did include some things that I can make, like kimchi and phugao. A lot of people really enjoy those videos. So check me out. You just find me on YouTube, write my name, Becky Tao, and then you see me there. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Mm-hmm.
Dita or Raul, any last words?
Did you want to go first?
All right. So to leave you guys with one last message, I just want everybody to, to shoot for something. That's all it is. Learn how to set aside your differences. Like, you don't have to like what someone likes. You don't have to agree with what they do, but just learn how to set aside your differences. And because like what I say, everybody's beautiful in their own ways. Everybody's beautiful in their own ways, and all it takes is for us to take the time to get to know those people. Don't judge them based off of their actions or how they live their life or their lifestyle. Take your time to get to know them first, and then if they do something to you that like might rub you the wrong way, then okay, that's fine. You draw your boundaries. But if not, which both then like be accepting of them still. Be accepting, because like everybody's beautiful in their own way, and like the world is beautiful. Take your time to go out there and see the world. But you're also beautiful too, so take your time to love yourself.
Thank you, Raul. Let's tell my husband that now. See how he feels.
I would say that even though their relationships, nuchi work out no law, don't take it to heart too much. Don't probably it's not the right time. It's not yours yet, and something better is coming on for you. And probably there's other things that God see that you can still, that you need improvement on. And, maybe he's sending someone way better, for you. And that's why you have to improve yourself so that you can keep that special someone. Yeah. And để lúc từ nó là cô họ lúc tê tê thế để họ lúc chỉ tao nó là cô kia kia thế.
Yeah.
Họ lúc chỉ tao nó cô kia kia thế. Just be true to them, be true to yourself. Yeah. And another one, I feel like it bugs me every time when people say lower your standard. I would say never ever lower your standard. Why? Because when you marry someone, it's it could be for life or it could be for a long time. Mm-hmm. If you lower your standard, you're gonna live disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just don't lower your standard, but at the same time, you have to learn how to accept too. So you just gotta know how to differentiate both of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all.
Great last words.
Olivia, anything else to add?
No, I mean, this is a time for them, and they've already said it, and we'll be back next week. So I'll have a whole bunch of more stuff to talk about.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I know that quarterly we have these relationship round table, and the great thing about love is that it's ever changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can say all these things, and you can go out there and do all these things and still come back with no one. So that is the beauty of love. Is that
are you talking about someone like yourself, Cowley? I don't know. Just kidding.
Hey, don't put me in the hot seat.
I think it's not that she didn't come back with anyone. She didn't want to bring anybody back.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so
bow down to me, Queen Cowley. No, forget it.
I think that's the beauty of love, is that we have all these things that we want, right? And then we find love in somebody that is like complete opposite. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's just that it's so dependent on people, and people are so complex that no matter what you do, like your love story will be bizarre in itself. And so Of course, tonight we touch on social media and how that affects relationships, and then dive into polyamory, which I think is a very new concept. And so definitely look into that if that's something that's very new, that you've heard for the first time. And then we talked about attracting the opposite sex, and what really truly matters. And so we really hope that you guys can kind of take all the things that were discussed tonight and just talk about them with your friends. That's what we always want to encourage, is that, all of this is for us to talk about, and then that's all, and decide what we want to take away from this conversation and what we want to throw away. And so of course, here all that talk, we believe that conversations drive change, and change starts with you. We'll see you all next week. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.